want me to project?
We're just taking notes, or are we supposed to be part of these small groups, or?
Have a couple things written down so I don't forget.
Perfect.
Don't know.
All right, 6:30, we'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
Question.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'd like to welcome our visitors this evening, in person and online. Number 3, we need to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, so discussion on that. I do, because we are going to be going into closed session, I'd like to make an addendum to this agenda to move number 11 to go between 10.4 and 10.5, so that if anybody has public comments, they can do that before we go into closed session. Does anybody disagree with that?
That sounds great.
All right. All those in favor with the addendum, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Number 4, public comments on the agenda item. If there's anybody in the audience this evening that would like to come up and speak about anything on the agenda item, now is your chance. If you could come up to the speaker, or the microphone, sorry, that would be great. All right, I don't see any takers, so we're going to continue on. Number 5, 5.1, student representative report. Mr. Holmes, do you have something this evening?
Yes, I have a couple things. So recent events that happened were the band and choir contests. Band hosted contests here on Monday the 9th, and their whole group received a superior rating, and many soloists received superior ratings as well.
Awesome.
They also had their concert on the 12th, and it was very good if anyone went to that. Choir hosted contests on Tuesday the 10th. Choir received an excellent rating. Chamber received a superior rating and a perfect score, and many soloists and duets also received superior ratings. We also had our choir concert on Friday the 20th, and it was also very good. We also had Miss Larson's CIS classes who went to see a showing of Macbeth at the Guthrie, and the students greatly enjoyed this incredible opportunity, and it was a ton of fun. And that's all I have.
All right.
What?
Thank you. All right, 5.2, policy review process. We've got policy 797, limit school bus idling policy for review, and policy 799, post-insurance debt compliance policy, and this is also for review. Do we have any questions, comments from any of the board members on that? On them?
My only question, I guess, I didn't even know we had this, the 797 limit school bus idling. I assume CI Transportation is in agreement or knows that we're at this? Okay.
Correct.
So that we're not setting, since we do not own the buses, just making sure.
Yep.
Okay, that was my only question.
All right, perfect. All right, that'll come forward next month for approval. All right, 5.3, superintendent goals. We're doing a March check-in. Were you doing that, or was I doing that?
I can talk about it if you like.
Perfect.
So as part of the superintendent evaluation process that you approved, the timeline had a March mid-year check-in, so I did submit some updates on each of the goal areas that the school board is evaluating me in. Goal area 1, governance teams, goals and strategic planning. Goal area 2, communication and community relations, specifically with our media outlets. Goal area 3, teaching and learning, creating a culture of cooperation. And then goal area 4, student support, school safety and security. So in the board report, I provided just a little narrative on just some things I've been up to, and at this time would entertain any questions, comments, or ideas that any of the school board members may have regarding the goals that I'm working towards.
Any questions or comments from any of the board members?
Appreciate the report, Mr. Ollie, so.
I just want to say that I feel like you're moving forward with the plans that you had put in place or the goals that you have put in place, and I look forward to doing the year-end evaluation on that.
Yep, I appreciate the transparency in the process. I think the public appreciates that as well, seeing, when we've had questions with superintendent evaluations before, I appreciate you providing tangible and evidence.
All right, so we'll move on to 5.4, the strategic plan refresh update. Mr. Ollie?
Just a few updates, Madam Chair, if I may. The strategic planning process is well underway. If you recall our timeline on that, we kicked things off March 9th with community surveys. So there is a community survey out there right now that can be accessed through the social media, Facebook. It's also in the Courier. There's a QR code community members can scan. There's also paper copies right here in the district office. So if there's community members out there that haven't taken that survey or interested in doing that, please let us know. March 18th, we held our staff input session. It was a 2-hour-long session that allowed staff to give input and guidance into all 5 areas of the strategic plan: finance, facility, student staff support, student achievement, and outreach, marketing, and communications. So that information, along with our community input sessions that we are holding this week, will be put together and summarized in very readable, usable format for board members here as we look at updating the strategic plan. So what's coming up tomorrow night, 3:30 in the forum room, our first community session. Thursday at 3:30, that will be at Cress. That'll be in the auditorium. And then Mr. Fisher and I will be facilitating a student session Thursday morning with about 45 high school students, going through a similar process, getting input and ideas and guidance from our students in all of those areas as well. And then March 30th, for those that aren't maybe in the area right now, but are residents of the Crosby-Ironton school districts, we have the Zoom virtual session. Or if you're not able to attend one of these input sessions, please feel free to log in. The information is in the Courier as well as on our Facebook page. You can click right on the link. It'll bring you right to the room, type in the meeting code, and away we go. So that will start at 6 p.m. on Monday, March 30th. The goal is to have our survey wrapped up and all the respondents calculated on April 1st, and then we'll spend the month of April summarizing all of the information for the school board to look at and make some important decisions for the future of Crosby-Ironton students and our staff and our community as we move forward in updating all that. So are there questions regarding the process, our current status, or the surveys, or anything that's on your mind, or maybe you've been here and that you would like to address here at the board meeting?
I have a question, Mr. Ollie. I was just wondering, since our March 9th launch of the survey, how are the numbers looking? We did have a report, what was it, the second week of March, on numbers, and it looked really favorable. Is it still growing, or is it starting to?
It's still growing. It's plateaued a little bit. So we have 200 and I want to say 40 student responses. So the students took the survey during their advisory period. So I believe all of them had the opportunity to at least take it, but there's still some I'm assuming that haven't, but that's a good chunk of the kids that are doing that. We have 70 staff that have taken the survey. So that's a fair number. There's still some that haven't taken it, but again, it's open till April 1st. And the last I looked, I believe the parents, it was nearing 300 responses. So we would love to, I think my goal, I initially said it was around 1,000 total surveys returned. But if we can get maybe one more blitz or one more word out on that, I'll see if the paper can do one more message for us. We'll get out on social media. I'll do another video and try to encourage people to do that. But it's favorable. It's been good, but it's kind of plateaued a little bit.
Yeah, I'm anticipating an influx of surveys after these informational sessions. I just want to remind everyone tuning in that the window is still open for that survey. If you haven't done it, if you're thinking about doing it, go online and take that survey. It would greatly help us, so.
It's very short, it's only a few minutes,
Yeah,
too.
it takes a few minutes of your time, and it'll really help the district, so. Thank you, Mr. Ollie, for that update, and I look forward to hearing more updates as we go.
Yeah, and I would just give a special thank you to our staff that participated last Wednesday in that session. It was 2 hours, but we really dug in. There was a lot of great feedback, ideas, and perspectives shared, and it's important that as we update and reboot this, that we have multiple eyes, ears on this plan, so as you make your decisions moving forward, you've heard from everyone. And the staff was a very important group to do that with, so.
The only other thing I have is, there will be board members at each one of these informational sessions. I'm thinking that we are not there to do questions and answers. We are there to take notes and to monitor everybody's opinions and, on this process. And I think, the first one's tomorrow night,
Actually, the first public one is tomorrow night, but
tomorrow night.
they had one last week. So did you guys take notes during that, or did you just kind of just listen and?
So the staff one, I participated, and I think that would be Mr. Ali's hope that anyone we go to participate.
Okay,
Participate, be a part of it
Be part
as
of
a,
the small groups, I mean, break off into small groups.
Yep. I mean, that's my encouragement, I guess, whatever you're comfortable with. I sat with a different group and, immersed myself in it, you know, it was good to be a part of it, so. Yes, I did take notes, but they're compiling everything.
okay.
I just want to say, with looking at the process that you've developed, and as we started with it and the ending of it, with past experiences with strategic plans and bringing other people in and paying exorbitant amounts of money and this and that, this is by far the best. And I just applaud that, and I'm so anxious to see the end results, because I think there's no stone is going to be left unturned here, and we need to keep getting the word out, and hopefully, I think we're going to have a good plan at the end of it. We feel real comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Barb. I mean, like, we could have spent 10, 15, you know, I mean, 5,000, whatever, on it, and I think it's going even better than expected, so.
I did look at it, and I know there's probably people in the community that don't have a clue of some of the stuff going on in our district, like they don't know how to answer it, and there is an option that says you don't know. So there are questions in there we are looking for specific feedback on, and there are areas that you can type in your own verbiage. So if you don't know, just mark don't know and move on, and that's okay, so.
Excellent.
All right. So we'll move on to 5.5, the 2021 to 26 strategic plan goals, the scoring on the balanced scorecard. So that's this thing again. And we're still on focus area goal number 1. And 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6. If anybody wants to give their feedback.
So I'll go first. So for 1.4, I gave us a 4 for that after looking at everything. I felt like we really do a great job of offering state-of-the-art anywhere that we can. Specifically, obviously, the Ranger Made is probably one of the big things that I kind of think that we can hang our hat on, so.
I give it a 5 on 1.4, because I mean, just the offerings that are available to the students, not only at the high school level, but also at the college level, and other options and all that. We got through the storm, and we didn't have to lose some high-quality classes that are in. I mean, I just love getting the information on Facebook from the creative writing one, the storybook, you know, the kids that wrote children's books and that. I mean, my gosh, there aren't too many schools that have those kind of offerings. So I think we do a really good job of preparing.
Okay. On 1.4, maybe I should just read this one. Continue to offer state-of-the-art curriculum that prepares students for employment as well as higher education. As you all know, through our work sessions and everything, I have a hard time giving anything higher than a 4 because I always think that there's room for improvement. But I am just so proud of the fact that we have our STEM facilities over in the elementary, and we have our CTE wing over here in the high school building. And I think we just offer a lot to our students, and I just wish more students would be aware of what's available here at Crosby-Ironton. So I gave it a 5. The only thing I can think of is we need to start promoting that a little bit more. We were able to keep our college in the schools classes, and I think that's fantastic, but these other programs that prepare students for not going on to college, but going on to other careers after high school is the way to go. So I got a 5.
So 1.4, I did give a 5, just because I know we will continue. But I feel like we're a 5 because of all the offerings we do. Just because I give something a 5 doesn't mean that we need to stop. I just feel like everyone else has said, we have so much to offer here that I felt like we deserve a 5 on that one, because we've really hit areas for our students.
For 1.4, I gave it a 4, and Mr. Sablon hit on that one for me regarding the marketing piece. I would love to continue developing exposure and opportunity for information, so people in our community are more and more aware of what we do have to offer. But as far as what we have to offer, I think we're doing a fantastic job.
I gave 1.4 a 3. I was a little tougher on it than you guys. So, which a 3 is progressing, objective, implemented consistently, and it shows moderate progress. So I think there's a lot of things we're doing, and I think about, like, particularly, Mrs. Strom gave and presented on this, about the Ranger graduate, like their profiles and whatever. So I think, like, we have things that are implemented and stuff, but it's just not, like, it's not fully polished in my eyes. But I feel like we have a lot, and I definitely agree with Tommy and Beth about the marketing. Like I said, there's lots of things going on, but a lot of people don't know that we have these things, so. Barb gave it a 5.
So the average score is 4.33.
All right. 1.5, the school district will foster students who value, care, and are committed to the community by incorporating community service opportunities into its curriculum. So I gave that a 5 because we do have SALT and HS, school board student reps. I feel like our students are very much involved in our community.
I gave it a 3. And because I know that we have SALT, and I know that, we have, students here, and I know National Honor Society does some service, has a service opportunities in that, but I think when I said incorporating it up into your curriculum, I think we could do more. I really do. I don't know if we would even have a credit in community service or have I just think it's a work in progress, and I don't want to lose it, the concept.
I would agree with Barb. I gave it a 2. I had a 1 at first, because when you look, and that's why I always want to pull up on the evidence, there's nothing there. But like, you make a good point with SALT, that we have nothing from but it might be the change of administration too, you know what I mean? Like, but I would agree with Barb in terms of like, where is it incorporated in our curriculum? So SALT is like something that's extra, National Honor Society is extra. What was the other one you gave?
Students.
Oh, a student, yeah. So like something, I just was like, something that's a part of that every kid, not necessarily has to do, but a part of that. And so I did, and it's funny, I did bring that up at the listening session, and then I know I've heard it at a Project Unite or a Ranger Nation Advisory Council. There's a couple community members that have talked about this initiative for early release. And so I'm hoping maybe that, we have a past referendum, stuff like that, that we can maybe incorporate this more.
Because we've always talked about Having it as part of graduation requirements.
Yep, and I think, did Mrs. Straw maybe talk about that? So like those ranger, like, like 10 hours community service or something as part of, yeah, so.
Yeah, I think that was I gave it a 4. Let me start off
Yeah.
with that. The only thing that we have an issue with that I can see is service hours being logged. The program that Mrs. Strom spoke of was about sort of an honor system. The students would go back and put those hours in there. So it's kind of self-accountability. I think that's kind of hard for a high school student. I think it's great to strive for that, but I think it's hard for a student at this age to accurately account for that without someone guiding them.
Yeah, taking that initiative on their own, yep.
So something could be lost. So that's why I gave it a 4. Anything for you?
You want to go, Beth?
I also gave it a 4 because I see the evidence of what's happening in the programs and activities in the lives of the students who are already engaged. But 4 also leaves room for growth and opportunity, and I would love to see it at every level. Classroom service projects at the elementary level.
That would be cool.
Soup kitchen work. I mean, there's so many opportunities to be working together in our community and see it happen.
That's a good point. Didn't your girls group?
Yeah, but we're separate, we're not part of the school.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yeah, Bio Girls
Those
is.
are still students. You know?
Yep, yeah, they are students, yeah, so Bio Girls, we went and worked at the community, table, right? I always forget if it's community kitchen or community table, yeah, so, but yeah, like I said, I agree with Beth, you kind of think about, you forget about that, we have salt, all that, but what do we have at Crest?
Those kids are so capable. And
Yes, yeah.
So, before I tell you what I put, I want to say that our SALT program is amazing. Those kids do amazing volunteer services and put things together that make this community so great. So, I gave it a 3, and it's not having anything to do with SALT, because my biggest thing is I feel like our kids go out in the community and they do a lot of work. But like bagging groceries, which is great. I think it's great that we go bag groceries, but it's done with the intent to fundraise. And so I think that I would like to see our kids in our sports being more willing to, not saying that they shouldn't be doing that. I'm just saying that it'd be, it's just great to not only get the kids out there to bag groceries, but what better way to like show the community, they're out there doing it for nothing other than just to help. Or like some schools, like the football team, like in the fall, they take like a Saturday and they literally drive around town with a trailer with rakes and they rake people's yards. Like just little things like that. I think that we have potential where I think we can kind of maybe, with a past referendum now, we can maybe get to where getting some of those service projects out there. But again, we have an amazing SALT program that those guys are just amazing. So I think that we are in the right direction, but I think that there's some work to be done, so.
3.5.
3.5? All right, 1.6. Develop or identify a reading curriculum that is aligned to rigorous and clearly defined standards.
So I gave this a 3, 4, 5. Okay? And I'll tell you why, because I've kind of looked into the READ Act, what we've been working on. I love the program. I think that it's really gonna do great things. It's just so like early still, so we don't know. So I think I guess I'll give it a 3.5. We're in the right direction.
I was curious how Bill, how are you gonna put that, 3.5?
So,
6, 7?
But I do think, I really like the program, and I think that it's, the teachers seem to be really bought into it, so, that's why I gave it a 3.5, I guess, so.
Okay?
I gave it a 3. I applaud your faith. I just think it's really really new.
Early up.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to see where we go from here, so I'm just gonna go with a 3. Trying to be safe.
So I did a 3, just because we've just recently have done the READ Act, but I feel like our reading curriculum is always changing, like our teachers are always taking different reading.
Conferences or?
Yeah, they just, some have this education and some have that, and I just feel like they're torn, they're pulled every which direction. So that's why I gave it a 3, because I just feel like we're still progressing, but we're just not anywhere.
I also gave it a 3. There was 6 items on the evidence page. I mean, there's quite a few things. And we're doing things both at Crest and the high school. But I know this was something that came up at the staff listening session was reading intervention and reading like cohesion across all subjects and stuff. So I feel like it's 3, I guess more so.
I did a 4, mainly because in the middle between 3 and a 5, and it's so premature to really, I mean, we need to keep supporting it. The buy-in that the staff has is good to hear and see. So I think we need to keep it, I'd like to see it stay as some form, maybe massage the wording a little bit with our student achievement goal, to see where it goes next year.
I was torn between a 3 and a 4. Just looking at the language of the objective, develop and identify a reading curriculum that's aligned to rigorous and clearly defined standards. We have identified it and we are developing it. And so I put a 4 because I wanted to reflect the effort that is going into meeting this objective, not only at a staff and administration level, but at a student level. They are putting in the work. And so I give it a 4 with hope attached.
3.4.
So we'll average, do you have all of them from the whole time? Oh, you're cheating up there, got it. He's looking at your board.
3.2.
3.2. Okay. All right. I think if everyone's okay, we'll move on to the goal 2 to our work session.
Yep.
Do that, continue that on there, and then we'll just continue on through our meeting this evening. All right. It's nice to get all the feedback from everybody and perspectives and, yeah. All right. 5.6, community education job description. We can discuss this, and it will be an action item later on. It was in your packet. Is there any questions, comments? The only thing I wrote on my paper here was under the community ed coordinator, number 10, just because I know we've probably got people out there, and Ms. Hotela, I'm just gonna use you as an example because you popped into my head. So let's say she wants to do a sourdough making class, but her kitchen is equipped with what it is. It says here that she'll visit community ed classes and activities to supervise, blah, blah, blah. If she puts it in the community ed book, they aren't expected to go to her house, are they? I'm just asking. No, okay.
Well, I think that,
I mean, I guess it depends if it's something that she's regularly holding. I mean, it's the same with like, when youth sports used to be under community ed, I felt like someone should have checked in to make sure, I mean, like, if this is something you're pushing, I mean, yeah, if you do a one and done, no. But if she's a regular thing, I think, yeah, you should make sure that that's something that you want to be, me personally, but I mean, I think that should be up to the discretion of the community ed coordinator as well as the administration.
I just didn't know if it was gonna be required.
And that kind of thing.
I feel like if it's gonna be going in our community ed book, then I think that there needs to be understanding that if you're gonna offer something, that there may be a site visit made by the community ed
It's not like
director.
unannounced.
I mean.
That sounds like for the IRS.
No,
A site
no,
visit.
it just,
that
the
we-
way
we have
it's
some-
worded.
Yeah, because we have some liability, you know, because we're offering it, I mean, so.
I just wanted to clarify because of how I was
Yeah,
thinking
yep.
about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that you should go, like, Beth's holding a class and we're all gonna, or the community ed person's gonna go to her house. I'm just saying, like, is that the expectation that if Beth decides to hold a sourdough
Say
making
no.
class?
Yeah, I would say no, but
With the option that they will show, they'll come. I mean, obviously give you a heads up, like, hey, I'm gonna attend your class today.
yeah, like I think like our current administrator, like when they do the painting at bridges or they do that, like she's
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so like, you
Yeah.
know, I don't think that's unheard of, but is it expectation?
Yeah, that, I just wanted to throw that out there because it
A
stuck
quick
out.
comment on that. When it, the way I read that, number 10 shall visit, it means that the person that we hire has to visit. I think that with watering down or taking away half the responsibilities and having a part-time person, they might assign somebody else to come in and take attendance, set up the room, this and that, because her hours, the way it is, could be eaten up pretty fast. And so if you have 3 events in the evening, in a week, in the evenings, and plus she has to work during the day and do everything else, her hours are gonna be gone. And so I would foresee this individual asking for some help or getting somebody that would maybe come in and do it, especially if there's a lot. you know.
Yeah, it just
So I
depends on-
I don't know if maybe that should say, either she shall visit or assign, I don't know, so, Mr. Raleigh, maybe that's just something to think of on it. Because I know that there was no way, there's no way that you can expect this individual to be there 5 nights a week if there's stuff going on, and we want stuff going on.
Well, but it says as assigned, so I feel like that leaves it open to, you know, that can be something that could be assigned by her supervisor could say, okay, I want, you know, Ms. Hatala's gonna be holding her 7th thing, you know, hey, why don't you, you know, have you gone to one yet? And then the person says, no, I haven't gone to one. Well, you know, I'd like you to go to this one, you know, because this is the 7th one, you know, like, let's see what, you know. So I guess that would be my opinion on it, so.
So I would think, if I'm signing up for the class through community ed, the numbers will be there, and I would expect that the person doing the class, whether it's art, sourdough, CPR, whatever, would give the numbers to community ed director or the community ed person. So they say, we had 30 people signed up, but 25 showed up. I mean, that's still an expectation, whether the person goes to the home or not. I just asked that because it's something that I questioned myself. Maybe it was a dumb question, but there's never a dumb question, so.
So I know we took out marketing per se, but I don't, well, I guess serve as I guess I was making sure that we still have the communication part in there.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I read it before, but I didn't read it like right before it. Is there a way, and maybe this is the cart before the horse, but since we plan to do hourly, if this is what we accept, to have it more tabulated, like, okay, this week was, you know, like 4 hours today was spent more on events, 4 hours, so we can make sure that it's not becoming an event heavy? Does that make sense, or is that too? Yeah, because I mean, like I said, with Barb, like, it should be halftime community ed. So it's like if we're not getting more programs or we're not getting more things, then.
Kind of like when we hosted the band and choir and all that. That was a long day. So the way this reads, this individual will have to be here the whole day monitoring the light booth in the auditorium.
Yes, for that.
The sound in the auditorium and it's stuff that's going on. So I somehow I know I didn't, do we have in there in other things as agreed upon with the superintendent? I didn't see that at the end. I know that's kind of a vague thing to have, but I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying.
We'll see about the band and choir, yes, the band and choir, yes, but like, they wouldn't have to come in at 8 AM and then stay till 8 o'clock that night.
It doesn't
You know what I
say
mean?
that they have to be there the whole time, it just says that they just have to basically
But the auditorium.
make sure that there's people that can do
No, the
yeah.
auditorium, they're the person. But I just was curious so we
Yeah,
could
but they
make
don't need
sure.
to stay here the whole time.
For the auditorium, yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
They can unlock it
matter.
in the morning and then go home and then check in periodically during the day to make sure that the lights and everything's going smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's totally up to that person and then Mr. Ollie, if he's their supervisor, to make sure that that is, you know, but if there's nobody to run it, then yeah, they're gonna be there all day.
Yeah, I just, anyways, back to that, I was just making sure that we, like I said, my concern was that it becomes, because, you know, we want them to be developing programs, we want them to be networking, not just, so, like I said, is that something that can be, okay,
Couple thoughts.
yeah,
Couple thoughts. First thought is the Crosby-Ironton School District is restructuring a full-time position into 2 part-time positions.
put together.
There's going to be some fluidity within which this job description morphs and becomes more concrete and finite in terms of roles and responsibilities. So part of the hourly system and an employee clocking in and out is you can track those itemized duties in terms of time being spent in the community education department or maybe supporting events. So I think it'll be pretty easy as the year goes on to determine the separation of duties with some of those things. The second piece is our goal, our hope, our vision is this is a relationship-based position that is networking with not only private organization, our public organizations, families, individuals, and they are in direct communication. So if there are classes being held at location A or location B, they're organically going to those places, checking in and supporting, not so much in a supervisory capacity as number 10 kind of alluded to, but more as like a check-in, kind of keeping that bridge built with the school district. So we want to be very flexible as we select our candidate. We want to be very careful about getting the right person that's going to be able to do a lot of those things and approach this in a relationship-based manner. So it will take some time to let this thing kind of get going, and it will depend on our candidates that we get in the applicant pool. So a job description is meant to be a guide and to show generally what we're expected to do, but being that this is a new position, we're gonna have to be a little flexible and review this as things go. That's my recommendation.
I agree. I don't want any future candidate or possible candidate to think that we're asking for a logbook of hours.
No.
We don't want it to be that tedious. We want them to have a structure, a guideline of what we're hoping for them to accomplish, and trust them and let them know that we trust them to do these things within the timeframes that they're.
Yeah, I think back to Barb, just like we want to, you know, and the same with the advisory council, like they want to see programs develop. They want to see community ed not go away. We want to see it, we want them to come back and be like, I need to be full-time because I've got all this going on. So I'm excited about it, so what it can be.
Can I ask a question about onboarding responsibilities and like, yeah, mostly that. Who will be ushering this person into this role and sort of, here's how the ship runs, here's how to do your job really well? Who's on that?
Outstanding question. There's going to be a number of things, I think, that this person's going to have to connect with and be mentored by. Number one, our current community ed director. There's just things, nuts and bolts things, past practice things, historical, cultural things where as you pass a baton to a new employee, whether or not the position's being restructured or maintaining the same, there's just some roles and responsibilities that will be the same. So that'll be number one. Number two, the direct supervisor and myself will work very closely with the person to try to hammer out some of the needs. What are some of the immediate things? When we onboard any employee, there's just immediate things we need to make sure they have. They understand the structures, the comings and goings, the payroll piece, all those kinds of things. And then getting them to meet with their community ed advisory council and talk about what are the goals, what are the visions and things you've been working on. And hopefully our community folks that are serving on that committee can help shape some of that piece as well. We'll also visit with Mr. Twig to look at some of the activity pieces and what are some of the roles and responsibilities and needs and gaps at some of our events that we need some help with. You know, we were very careful not to create an assistant activity director position here as well, so we don't want this to become just an event help person where they're just here, you know, running ball games and things like that. So does that help a little bit?
It does. I think my follow-up question would be, is there any kind of, or could there be a employee manual that sort of outlines some of, is it even needed? It's just a thought. Outlining all of this in more detail so that somebody could work through it, know who to go to, who are my point people.
Are there specific experiences that we're looking for in this individual? Like a 4-year degree, a 2-year degree, enthusiast, or is it gonna be pretty, just build it as we go?
Well, there's, on the bottom of that job description, there's skills. None of them say with education, but.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and I just to answer Beth's question first, I would say too that our areas, community ed directors or just coordinators are really, really helpful. I've just spoke to several of them about youth sports things, and so like I know whether someone comes into this role with community ed experience or none, I think any of them would be a mentor, and I mean, we still have, Jen Strom in the area too, and I'm sure she would be like, you know, sit down and talk ins and outs. I don't wanna speak for her, but I do feel like we have a really good collaborative in the area as well, and that's a big piece of, I think, with community ed, so. But back to your question, Barb, I guess, maybe Mr. Ali, you know, are we gonna require any?
Oh, I mean, I think,
Sorry.
I think with any community-based position, relationships, strong communication, visibility, forward-thinking, innovative, risk-taker, I mean, the list goes on. I think we're looking for somebody that is going to be able to grab a baton and run with it, not walk.
So I'll say, Mr. Ali, I read through this and when I read the 6 skills required, I literally read that and went, that is exactly the type of person that we need in this position. We need somebody that is able to collaborate effectively with staff, students, and community partners. Somebody that can basically be a chameleon when it comes to all that. We need somebody that's willing to work flexible hours when they need to, but maybe work structured hours when we don't need them to work flexible hours. You know, so this person's gonna be very heavy when it comes to the events coordinator from like November to like March. They're gonna be very heavy because that's when we have dance, hockey, and basketball going on all at the same time. And that, you know, where those outside those areas, you know, you got your fall, you got football, and then maybe some volleyball games. But, you know, you don't have nearly the amount that we do, so they're gonna work probably some more flexible hours in the winter than they are outside of that. So I think that I don't really have a preference as far as I'm concerned on whether they have a 4-year degree or 2-year degree or they're a doctor. As long as they can come in here and do those 6 things and they're good at it, I think those hit them on the head, so.
All right, so that'll be an action item later on in the agenda. All right, number 6. Need a motion to approve the minutes from February 23rd, 2026 regular board meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Number 7, 7.1, these were all included in your packet if they gave us some information. So we'll do A through D.
Hey, Mr. Ali, I just got a question on A. Quick, if you can answer this. Are those numbers 9 through 12? Or are those numbers 7 through 12? Do you know?
Be with you in a second, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Checking the Dean of Students, AD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which are you looking at? The AD report on the numbers for baseball, golf, softball, track. Trying to figure out if there's 9 through 12 or 7 through 12.
I will follow up with the board on
Okay.
that tomorrow.
I just wanted to know, 'cause
fairly certain it's 7.
I saw our baseball was down, and I felt like, talking to my son, that I felt like we had more kids this year than we did last year. But
I'm
So-
98% positive it's 7-12, but I'm not 100.
Okay.
I will follow up with the
Okay.
board in a
That's
separate-
fine. That was the only
Good
question I had.
Yep. I believe he always lists those 7-12, not just the varsity level.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Not 100, but close.
Yeah, because, yeah.
All right. 7.1E, Superintendent.
Yeah, sure. Just a few items here, keep things moving. Just a brief update, the legislature's in full force now, and just a brief update, Governor Walz did submit his supplemental budget proposal with several items in there potentially impacting school finances moving forward. Specifically for K-12, Governor Walz has put in his plan an additional $50 million in reductions to special education cross-subsidy aid. And we've been hearing all about cross-subsidy aid and special education during the referendum campaign, talking about the impact it has had on Crosby-Ironton schools in the tune of $1.2 million last year. So his budget proposal has less money now coming out of that for special ed, in addition to the $250 million in cuts that they put forth for the Blue Ribbon Commission in 2025. His target in his proposal that he just released is $300 million. So it could potentially impact us with our special ed reimbursements. So we'll keep an eye on that, something that I think will be very interesting to see how that works its way out. Some discussions about looking at a task force to review Minnesota's school testing system, which is our MCA testing system and accountability. And then other committees and items working on school safety, teacher preparation requirements, making it easier for teachers to move state to state to get jobs, and other student support funding. So we'll continue to keep you updated on what's going on down there. Are there any questions about that? Our district website is just about completed. We've been working with Katie Hakes and her company to get just a lot of new updates and user friendliness, and that's been going very well. But hopefully that'll be released on the 15th, she had said to me. So our school information system next year, Infinite Campus staff have had a little bit of training on that. We'll continue to keep our timeline moving forward with that, so we're ready to go for fall as students and families come back. Our digital mapping of the facilities was completed. That was a grant from Crow Wing County, the emergency response folks. And I believe those got sent, if I'm not mistaken, to the law enforcement agencies and first responders. So they all have those available in their vehicles and different technologies that they have. I talked about our staff input session on the 18th. We are taking a small community group and some students and a couple staff members over to a change maker event over at Sourcewell on April 16th, where students and surrounding communities get together and talk about their school experiences and things that they're doing in ways that they can help be not only a productive student, but also a productive member of the community. So not quite sure. I think that's the first time we've taken a group over there, so I'll look forward to reporting out on that. And then just a brief update on the preschool through grade 6 principal hiring timeline. And later on in your consent agenda, you'll be asked to accept the resignation of the elementary principal, and we'll be reposting that in a semi-modified, restructured format as a pre-K to grade 6 principal. And I did put that in my notes last week, I believe, about that. March 10th, we had the position posted. Last Friday, I was able to meet with several CREST staff and go through the timeline and different things with them and answer some questions they had about the pre-K to grade 6 structure. We also sent out a survey to the staff members if they wanted to provide some information in terms of skill sets that they were looking for in their next leader at CREST. The survey closes on April 3rd. We have interviews already scheduled, screening interviews for Friday, April 10th. There's 11 of them we have lined up for now. There's a couple applications that came in today, so I'll review those tomorrow. And the goal there is to bring a couple principal candidates on site Monday, April 20th. and if needed, Wednesday, April 22nd. And then I hope to have a recommendation on a school board agenda and approve a contract Monday, April 27th. And then they would assume their duties this summer.
The screening, are you doing with every candidate that is applying, or?
We have 15 applications and I have 11 screening.
Okay, so 11 that kind of went, okay,
And
all right.
I've begun initial background checks and references on several of those already. So after, Mr. Barry Fisher and I will be conducting those, and after we get through those, they're 20-minute,
Zoom, right? I think you did,
yep,
the
they're
day before,
just,
yeah.
yes,
Initial.
initial Zoom meetings. So we'll see where things go after that, and hopefully have a couple to bring on site and get that done by the end of April. So questions about the timeline for that, or any comments? Just want to encourage the community and staff to stay involved through our monthly newsletter that goes out through all the email system, our social media posts, our CI podcast. We just dropped an episode featuring one and only Mr. Tollefson. We talked school finance, the basics, and then we got in the weeds a little bit on some other things. So if you're looking for something to help you go to sleep tonight, him and I will help you do that trick. So
Do you have apparel yet, Bill, yet, like, you know, for your appearances?
yeah. When we drop the new website, there will be a specific budget tab just for community and anyone that wants to kind of get the nuts and bolts of CI Finance. There'll be a dashboard where families can access, and we'll put that episode on that page as well. It's really good information. It's very basic stuff, but then he talks more specifically to the CI budget as well. And of course, always call the business office if you have questions about anything that you're wondering. The website we talked about, the local newspaper, and then please try to get to one of those community input sessions, whether it's in person or Zoom next Monday night. So with that, that concludes my superintendent report for the month.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Ollie on the report? All right, we'll move on. Committee reports, staff development, 7.2A. So that was moved to this week, and Mr. Taylor is planning on attending that for me, because I will not be here. So thank you so much, I appreciate that. So we'll end up getting that emailed to us. Yep.
I could not, I had it on my calendar and I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask, like, I know I said I would, but why was I going to this again? That's right.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Clef, Ms. Hatala?
Yes, so Clef switched their meeting times around and they met just before this meeting today. So I'm going to have notes that I will be able to deliver accordingly soon.
Perfect, thank you. Community Ed, Ms. Neprud.
I did not attend the meeting. I think
Okay.
Mr. Ollie was at it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it said in her notes that she would provide them as soon as she got them as well. So, because they met on,
The second.
Yep.
yeah, just the advisory council met on March 2nd. And then it says notes will be shared as soon as our secretary has them completed.
Yep, I just wasn't sure if there was something that they wanted to share ahead of time, so. All right, I do not believe there was a Cuyuna Rec board meeting. Okay, and Paul Bunyan Joint Powers.
Yes, Madam Chair. There were 6 points to update, one being membership status, 2, continuity of services, 3, financial responsibility, 4, communication and collaboration, 5, professional development, and 6, governance and financial review summary. First of all, Brainerd Public Schools will remain a member of the Paul Bunyan Co-op, which is important because that means that special education services will continue uninterrupted for our students, and that's the biggest thing that we're worried about. There was also a financial and governance review, which found that the cooperative to be financially stable and outlined steps for long-term stability. There is a proposal for a hybrid fee structure to be presented at our next meeting, the Board of Delegates, and that'll be on April 30th, I believe, next month. So I'll be able to give an update on what's happening with that more in detail, but that won't be until the May meeting because that's after our next regular board meeting.
Perfect.
That's all I have.
All right.
Madam Chair,
yes.
there was this, after school today, we had our first safety committee meeting, and it go on, so we did meet, and we're going to meet, and the next time we meet will be before school. But purpose of the safety committee is to, just, it's required by OSHA, and you have to meet and do it, and it was, I thought, very, very interesting. They did a unannounced inspection February 4th, and everything looked really good, you know, little things here and there, things that maybe we need to look at and work on, you know, little things like outlet strips, and I mean, just some really minor things in that. Training sessions were talked about for next fall, for staff, and to the right to know, the fire extinguisher training, things like that, and how, I can't remember the name of that. What did he say the name was of the world?
Learning.
Yeah, for the training deal, where they would individualize training sessions now, so that the English teachers don't have to sit through the same thing that the shop teachers, et cetera, like that. So just some little things. Other than that, you know, it's a review log, needs based on incidences and that, it's extremely high. It is, but they're working on that, the individual building principals. Other than that, I think we really, you know, had a written citation for machine guards on 3 laths down in the shop area, and that need to be fixed, but it's already taken care of. So just little things were just good to, just all these double checks, so. Same, I don't know, was there anything else? Rick? No? Okay.
Great.
All right, perfect. So is that something we want to add next fall too, since you won't be meeting again until? When are you meeting again for the
Well,
safety?
We'll meet in September.
September, so it'll be
School gets
another
going.
report on the
Okay,
next.
so we want to make sure we probably don't miss that
That
for a report.
Put it on the agenda, she's saying.
Gotcha. I'll make a note of
we'll
that.
make sure.
Just because it's not monthly, yeah,
Just speak up, Barb,
yeah.
if you need to.
Just yell at me like you did, Barb. That's great. All right, 7.3 enrollment report, Mr. Tollefson.
Madam Chair, members of the board, the enrollment report included in your packet includes information through the 7th month of school already. Overall, the elementary was up 1 student and the high school was down 3. The 3 departures at the high school, one was a student that was moved to a more appropriate program setting at Intermediate 287 in the Twin Cities. One was transferred to Cross Lake Online, and another was a student who has been moving quite a bit from schools to program to program, and was a withdrawal to homeschool. However, the numbers overall then being down 2 students, and if you look at the 7-month average to the far right, you'll note that we are still moving along very nicely at 1,006, which is the amount that the preliminary budget was based on. And at this point, we would be expecting not to have a different total number. The numbers will change by grade level, but we'll be basing the revised budget on 1,006 pupil units unless something dastardly happens. I would take any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Tollefson?
Thank you for the report on who left and why, because I was gonna ask that question. And then, did you breathe a sigh of relief? That it's gonna stay at 1,000?
Absolutely, because that's normally not the case.
All right, we'll move on to 8, consent calendar. I need a motion to approve 8.1 to 8.3.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Number 9, I need a motion for 9.1 to 9.3.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
I just want to say, just thanks for the years of service for the Human Resource and Finance Coordinator. So, hopefully she'll be, if we need her, I see that she's, might be willing to keep working part-time if we need help, so that was very nice, so.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Action items, 10.1, approve the following policies. Second reading and adoption of revised policy 213, school board committees. Second reading and adoption of revised policy 721, procurement policy, formerly uniform grant guidance policy regarding federal revenue sources. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 10.2, need to approve the April 6, 2026 staff and student school day, makeup for January 23rd, 2026 extreme cold day. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I've made it clear that I would have preferred this day be an e-learning, but I support our administration with the decision.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 10.3, approve restructured community education job description and authorize posting the position. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 10.4, approve overnight trip request for football to attend the Bemidji State University football camp from July 14th, 2026 through July 16th, 2026. And just a reminder, this they do every year. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. 10.5, approve pursuing a cooperative agreement with Aiken Public Schools for girls tennis beginning in the fall of 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? I know that Mr. Twig did attach a letter in our board packet regarding that.
So yeah, just to be clear to the public, this is just, we're just approving to look into it and to pursue it. This will come back to the board when we get the information back, so that's all this is doing right now, so.
There's still a lot of questions, and so it's just an approval to do the research.
Yep.
Correct.
So.
Correct. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Sorry. Guys. We're gonna move 11 up. I was gonna put a note here, sorry about that.
You're still good?
Yeah. Public comments. Do we have anyone in the public that wants to come up and give any comments? I'm not seeing anybody, so at this time, we're gonna adjourn the public meeting because we are going into closed session.
You need a motion?
Oh, sorry, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries.